Whenever I smell asphalt, I think of Marine. That's the last sensation I had before I blacked out. The thick smell of asphalt. And the first thing I saw when I woke up was her face. She said she'd fix my bike. Free. No strings attached. I should have known then that things are never that simple. Yeah, when I think of Marine, I think of two things. Asphalt and trouble.
Rip Burger, you're dumber than dirt.
Oh, Mr. Corley, if you'd only listen to my plan, my vision.
I know your plan, Rip Burger. You're waiting for me to die so you can take over my company.
Oh, sir, that's horrible. I am not waiting for you to die.
You know I've never liked you, Rip. But you have business know-how and killer instincts that I respect.
Why, thank you, sir.
But this latest idea of yours, riding up to our shareholders' meeting with a gang of bikers? Who do you think you're fooling?
The shareholders, sir. It's good PR to be seen hobnobbing with real Corley Motors customers.
What do you know about our customers, Adrian? You've never even been on a bike.
Well, you know I'd be on one right now, sir, if it weren't for my destabilizing inner ear condition.
Ah, your ears are fine. It's what's between them that scares me. Now there goes some boys I can ride with. Step on it. Let's find out who they are.
Now, I couldn't possibly claim to have a game appreciation channel without making a video of this game, so hello and welcome to a look at Full Throttle Remastered for the PC. Fairly sure it also runs on Mac OS and Linux, but whatever. The game was originally released by LucasArts in 1995 and was made into, or was remastered by Double Fine Productions in 2017. Full Throttle is a point-and-click adventure made by Tim Schafer. I'm fairly sure that's the way you were supposed to pronounce his surname, in which you play the character of Ben, who is the leader of the motorcycle gang Polgas. You probably got a vague idea of what's happening at the part of the introduction that I left in. I cut some of it out, but
Good thing
initially you are told that Malcolm, the white-haired guy in the limo, is dying, and he wants to make sure that his company, which is the last company producing motorcycles in the country, and I would assume that's the US. He wants to make sure that the company is ending up in capable hands. Rip Burger, the guy that was sitting next to him, if you had a bad feeling about him, then it would be justified, because of course he has other plans.
Fixed your door. It was sticky.
Look, I don't want
Things happen.
trouble. Just leave me out of this.
The Polgats get involved unwillingly, and Ben gets knocked out and finds himself, as you saw, in a container.
Man, I wish they had it.
I don't necessarily want to talk too much about the plot because it is unveiled as you play the game, and due to the nature of this game being relatively short, I don't want to take too much away from someone who might want to have a look at it and play it, or if they already own it, dust off their old CDs, I'm fairly sure, or CD even. I'm fairly sure it would run on DOSBox.
Looks like you're out of customers.
Yeah,
I might be mistaken. Was it a Windows game? I can't actually remember, but irrelevant. When it comes to a point and click
Where'd everybody
adventures,
head
even
off to?
especially from LucasArts,
Maybe they're up on the leading
there's some of
edge.
us who had the joy of
I think you're in
experiencing
on this
the classic
whole
ones when they were
Yeah, well,
fresh
what are
and
you gonna
new.
do about it?
Games like Manic Mansion, Zack McCracken,
What do you have?
and of course, The Secret of the Monkey Island
I
and
wanna know who knocked
Secret
me
of the
out.
Monkey
Maybe
Island
you
2.
just passed out.
Those
You
kind
should've
of
learned to handle your liquor.
excellently done point and click adventures, which
Want something?
um,
What
had
do you got
a
for
good sense of
headache?
A
humor,
little sympathy.
a
Thanks.
logical,
Not much.
somewhat at times illogical progression. Sometimes you definitely had to
Might
think
look
out of the
better on
box
your
in order to
nose.
progress.
What?
But overall, those kind of games
bar.
were by fans of
Now don't
the
mess around with me.
genre, whatever it's
All
called. I
right.
can never get that
I
word right.
got your keys, but I don't know
Um,
nothing. They had guns.
They
told
were
me to
considered to
stall you
be
as long as
absolutely
possible.
amazing games,
Why?
and
I don't know. I
for good
don't
reason.
know. I overheard them say something about an ambush up the road.
Full Throttle
What
is
else?
definitely
Nothing,
following in the
nothing.
same venue.
Look, man. Here are your keys, all right?
It is a point and click adventure where you have
Someone
to
did say something
overcome
about
certain
killing you and making
problems,
it look
and
like an accident.
the way you
Do too good
overcome
of
the
a job
problems
there,
may not
but why
always
ambush
seem
the
to
poor
make
gents?
sense until you have
I'd better get moving.
solved the problem. Then suddenly it makes perfect sense. And that means that solving some of the issues you have can be annoying and a bit daunting, but at the same time it is also satisfying once you have actually overcome the issue. So I would say that even though there is a bit of a kind of moment with some of the obstacles, it is definitely rewarding
I'm on the
to
road.
get past them.
I'm indestructible. No one can stop me.
If you know what you're doing, you can probably complete this game in about an hour and a half, depending on how the minigames behave. And this is
Ain't you the A number one
sort of a
polecat
showcase of one of the
honcho?
minigames that you will have to go through at one point
Yeah,
in this
and
game.
you're in my way.
And it is
Well, get used to it, bud.
quite an annoying
When
aspect
the
of the game.
Rottweilers hit the
Um,
road,
I will
we
happily
own it.
accept it because I absolutely
Look,
adore
I'm
this game.
serious. Someone's
But
ambushing
I
the
can
poor
easily
cat.
see why certain people will find the
Someone's ambushing the
bike
polecats.
fighting mechanic to be incredibly
Oh,
obnoxious
heavens.
and
Whatever
annoying,
will
and
we do?
just feels like it slows everything down.
That does it.
There's a few other
Come
elements,
on, kitty.
not necessarily minigames, but
Let's get
minigame-esque
down.
elements where it gets a bit frustrating. But again, from a personal point of view, as I was saying, whatever bits this game gets, I wouldn't say wrong, but it's not to everyone's taste, I will happily accept because of the rest of the game. Let us talk on technical aspects, because of course that is important. Bear in mind that I'm showcasing the remastered graphics, and I was showcasing very early on in the video the original graphics. You can, in the remaster, press F1 to switch between the two modes.
I'd like to make you just something
The graphics are not
something about killing
particularly
look like an accident.
epic, I suppose, but it works in setting the tone for the game.
Something about an ambush up
And in that regard, it works very, very well. I quite enjoy it. Some people might think it is less than great. I don't know. I've never been one for emphasizing graphics and sound over gameplay, but as I've also mentioned, it doesn't hurt when
Man, this
those
is
two
gruesome.
go hand in
Man,
hand
I've
with the
gotta
gameplay,
put these in
and
color. Now I
the
have to
graphics
get
have
you
to
some
fit
help, I
the game
suppose.
they are attached to, and in that
One
regard, I
moment.
think both the
I
original
know someone around
graphics
here
and
who
the
can
remastered
fix anything.
graphics suits the tone, style, and theme of the game extremely well. Yes, it could be nicer, it could be blah
What
blah
are
whatever.
you?
Yeah.
I'm a mechanic.
it is what it is, and it works fine for what it is.
My name's Maureen.
My name's Ben.
When it comes to
Why
the
do you hit me
sound,
over the
the
head, Maureen?
voice acting,
You were in an accident.
some of it is a bit
Reporter found you and brought
mediocre,
you
I
and
would
your
say,
bike
but
here.
the main
My
character's
bike?
voice acting,
What have you done with my
which
bike?
is voiced
Brought
by,
it back from the
unfortunately,
dead.
late Roy
Sort of like what I
Conrad.
did with you. Need a little help
I
getting
could
it
listen to
finished,
that
though.
voice all day long. Ben could tell me about the mating dance
Who are
or
you?
I don't know what,
Remember? If that's too
and
hard,
I
maybe you
would
should
find
just
it to
stick
be
with
the most
Mo.
exciting thing in the world just because of the sound
you
of
have
his
a
voice.
last name?
I
That
prefer
voice
not to
is
use it.
absolutely
What about you?
Same
epic.
deal.
Love his
Then
voice.
it's Ben
I
Mo
so
forever,
love
I
that
guess.
voice. Did I mention I love his voice?
Is this an authorized Corley service center?
Ripburger, of course, is voiced by
You could
Mark
call this a
Hamill, and there
Corley
are
service
other
center, but I don't
voice
have any
actor
official
names that may or may not be familiar
An
to certain people.
illegitimate Corley operation.
But
I prefer to think
by
of
and
it as
large,
a
the
renegade
voice acting
Corley
is very, very
operation.
good. Some characters are
Where'd you learn
overdone,
bikes?
I grew up
but I
working on
suppose
them
that
with
is
my dad.
fitting for a
One
game of
summer we
this
did
type.
nothing but
So
restore this old hired
again,
camp
I am
together.
happily
We
taking
scrubbed
it
every bolt
because
until
of
it
all the
shined,
good
but
the
he
game
took off
has
one day
to
and
offer.
never came back. So I
When it comes
switched
to
to
the
toasters.
music of this game, the title music
live in
is
this town?
provided by a
Well,
group
Melanie
called
Beach's
the
not much of a
Gun
town.
Jackals, and I
What's
don't know
left
whether
of it
that
is
group is
sinking
still
about
around or
a
not.
foot a year.
But
People either
if you
run
are
or
into that
adjust,
style of music,
or they
it
leave.
is
Which
spectacular.
fine with
That's
me.
the only
Not
word
a
for it.
people person?
I'm just better with
I do love
toasters, that's
music
all.
that can get
You
your
seem more
blood
concerned
pumping
with
and
me
get
than
you
your
rocking in
bike.
your chair. Not a rocking chair, I'm not that old yet, but yeah,
How's
I
it
can
look?
only praise
Looks better
that
than it
music
did, but you
as
gotta help
much
me
as
out.
is possible
Front forks are
to
wasted, so
praise
you'll
a
have
piece
to
of
get some
music.
new ones.
It is
And
amazing.
someone stole my welding torch. Can you believe that?
The rest of the
I
music in
can't
the game,
finish without one. And
in-game
last but not least,
supporting
I
music,
patched up your
I think
ruptured
it's
gas
called
tank, but you're
ambience
out of fuel
or
and I
something
don't have
similar,
any.
and the occasional small song thing kind of stuff. And it
Where am I
sounds
supposed to find
perfectly
all this
fine,
stuff?
and
You can
of
hack it,
course,
tough guy.
as is the case of any soundscape, whether it's in a game or in a film, it is meant to support whatever it is it's supporting.
Where
And
am I
in that
gonna find
regard,
new
the
forks?
Well, they
soundscape
don't have to
in
be
Full
new,
Throttle
new.
works
Just not broken
absolutely
into little
perfectly
pieces.
well.
You could start by asking
Both the
Todd
graphic
in the
style,
trailer
even
across the way.
if you
He
don't
runs the
particularly
junkyard.
like it, and the music,
How am I supposed
the
to
sound,
find
I
your
should say,
torch?
I
works
don't know.
in
Set up a
great harmony to
dragnet.
set the setting
Still
and
can't believe someone would
mood
steal my torch.
of the
Who
game.
around here would do a thing like that?
When it comes to controls, you right
Where's the
click to open
gas?
your
Well,
inventory,
there's a whole tower full of it
and
at the edge
you
of town.
left click on
They have
stuff
this
in order to
crazy,
interact with it, and then
irrational
you have
intuition that
several
tells me
different
maybe it's
interaction
worth checking out.
options, like
Actually,
look at
I
stuff,
think I
talk
can
to
handle it.
stuff,
Good.
grab hold of stuff, or kick stuff, because of course Ben is a big
I
tough
gotta get out of
biker,
this
so
town
he likes to
fast.
kick stuff,
Trouble with the law?
and there is
Not
a
in this
certain
county.
joy
Then
in
what's
going
the
around and
hurry?
kicking everything.
My gang's in
In
trouble.
that regard, the
Bullcats.
controls are
How'd you know
perfectly
that?
spot
emblem
on,
on the back of
but
your
I
jacket.
have to
They're
admit
headed for
there
an
are
ambush,
certain
so I gotta
elements of
catch
the
'em.
game where
Better get this bad boy
you
back on the
sometimes feel
road
the
then, huh?
controls are running away from you, and not so much
I don't
in the
have any money to
motorcycle
pay you
fighting
with.
that you will
Hey,
have
this
to
one's free.
endure if
I
you
haven't
decide
touched
to play
anything
this game,
besides a toaster
but
for
there
so
are some
long.
other
Getting my
small
hands
things you
on
have
your
to
hog has really been a
deal with,
pleasure.
Well, thanks.
which can
Don't sweat
be frustratingly annoying,
Well,
and if
I'll
you
let you
are
get
not
back to
the
work.
patient type,
Let me
could
know if you need
easily
any aspirin or
get
anything.
you to scream at the game in desperation, frustration. But
Wish this gas can was full.
because of my overall liking of this game, I am willing to accept those frustration points. But I have to admit, they are there.
Oh, good, you're not dead yet. I
The
might
humor
still get a quote.
is typical LucasArts
I
style.
heard you saved my life.
Subtle,
Yeah,
but
but don't
quite
worry. I wasn't trying to. I
cheeky
was just
at
looking for
times.
some nice
And of
roadside
course, bear
disaster
in mind this
photos,
game
and you helped.
is rated 16, so it is meant towards a more
Who'd want a
mature
picture of me
audience.
bleeding?
It's
And
not the
there's
blood.
certain
It's the way
references
you
which may
were,
or
all
may not
twisted
be
up like a pretzel.
of a more mature nature.
Listen, I've got to stop an ambush.
Ambush?
The game is
Really?
relatively short,
Where?
there's no denying that, and I think that is one of the greatest reasons why
I
certain
don't
people
know
are
exactly. My crew is escorting
smacking
some
this game a bit,
VIPs to the Corley Motors
but
shareholders meeting.
for
And there's
me
an
it has
ambush waiting
always
for them somewhere
been
up the road.
a joy to play. I have completed it just to
I
Yeah?
experience the
This is hard
mood,
for
the
me.
setting,
I
the
need...
music,
Come on,
the
man,
voice
spit it
acting,
out.
the
Give me a ride
humor,
in your
the
car. I've got to stop this
annoying bits
ambush.
as well.
You're right.
Um,
We have to get to the
and
ambush, all right.
if
But
you
I'm
are
afraid I'm
into
without
point and
wheels
click
at the moment.
adventures
How
and
did
you
you get us
like the
here?
style,
Hitched.
Well,
even though
I'd
it's
better be
short,
going.
there is
All
a
right,
certain
drive safe
reservation that has
now.
to be put in that regard. It's well worth a look. It is currently available on GOG.com, and I don't know whether it's available elsewhere, but GOG will charge you £10.99, which I think is fine. But for certain people, it might be a touch on the steep side for what you're getting. For
Thanks
those
for the
who own the
lift.
original
Now I
and
got
would
a
love
quote
to
for you.
be able to gain access to a remaster which does the original game justice, you can't really go wrong with this one. I think Full Throttle belongs in the line of classics when it comes to point and click adventures. And on that note, thanks for watching and take care. See you next time. Bye bye for now.